And the third point is we're all connected. So for those of us who think that it's just me and me alone, or me and my 3 family members, we are all connected. Every one of us, it's a ripple effect. It's a ripple effect. We're not just about each other. We're about the collective whole. All boats do rise. So those are the 3 points that I try to outline in my book. And I wanted to highlight just a couple of stories that I thought might resonate with global travelers. How many of you all are road warriors? Like on the plane a lot, or subway, we're not subway here, but on the plane a lot. There's a story in my book, I call it 5E, and it's a story about a man who, does that 5E meaning? Okay, y'all know what I'm talking about. The seat 5E, right? The warm nut seat. This is the warm nut seat, right? So we're in first class, typically American Airlines. This guy comes on the airplane, and I am sitting there. The last thing I want to do is what? Right? I wanted to just not be smart, act smart, I didn't want to do any of that, right? I wanted to read my People magazine, right? Like it was Barron's Weekly or something, you know? And I didn't want to talk to him. Well, he comes in and he is just so effervescent. You know, just real excited, going to go home to see his 8-year-old little boy get a bicycle or something for his birthday, and wanted to tell me all about it, right? And I'm thinking to myself, oh, here we go, 3.5 hours with this guy next to me in seat 5E. And I just didn't really want to go there, but he wouldn't let go. So for 3.5 hours, he told me that he had just resigned from his company because he had not resonated with the values of the company. And he was having an identity crisis because he thought that his identity was all wrapped up in the company. Have you ever been there? I have. I have. When I went from Hewlett-Packard to Vignette, Hewlett-Packard was a brand name. Vignette, not so much. So I had to explain, you know, who Vignette was. And then when I left technology altogether to go into education, people thought I'd lost my mind. Really? They thought I had lost my mind. It was official. She has gone loco. And the irony of it is this guy was mirroring back emotions that I had felt and that I had heard from so many other people. People would go to a cocktail party and you're talking and you don't really have a company to associate with. So you associate yourself with Kristin Kaufman, right? Is that good enough? Is that identity rich enough, right? It's scary. So this guy was telling me this, and he said to me, but I am so happy that I've done this because I was not in alignment. He didn't use those words. I was not in sync with the values of that company. Big wake-up call for me. First time that anybody had said this to me, bravely. Of course, I was an anonymous soul that he didn't think would ever put it in a book. And I did change his name. I think it's John in the book. I don't remember what his name was in real life. But I can tell you there are a million Johns out there, right, who have left corporate America or left a big job, right? They feel like their identity was tied up with that company, and oh my gosh, I'm not with them anymore. Now what? So I write about that because it started a whole process for me and how I was identifying with who I was, getting in alignment with who I was. My brand is just fine. Kristin Kaufman is just fine. It doesn't have to be Kristin Kaufman, Vice President of Hewlett-Packard. It doesn't have to be Kristin Kaufman, Vice President of Vignette. Who cares? My brand is just fine.